This is what you see a lot of out here on the back of this Chevy behind me that's now just a twisted mess. You see these X's. Again, you talked about that before. What that is the emergency crews have gone through every piece of rubble, every car, every twisted mess in this whole area. They've gone through very carefully to make sure there weren't any people trapped or bodies trapped. It's absolutely surreal to think I'm standing next to someone's bed in what used to be their bedroom. But in addition to all the damage, destruction, and loss of human life in neighborhoods like this one, it's important to remember that many, many animals, family, pets also lost their lives. There are absolutely a ton of crews out here trying to get the power back online. That's because, as you can see here in front of me, this is a very common sight out in this area. Huge power poles absolutely just ripped over. Look around and you'll see the problem in this story. The area where I'm standing here in Lake Hefner would normally be completely underwater, but with lake levels around the city at the lowest they've been in decades, the city is now asking folks to limit how much water they use. Kevin, officials down in Georgia say that it was a tip from right here in Oklahoma that led them to Savage's hideout. And while it may still be a few weeks before Savage is returned here to the county jail, local law enforcement are just thrilled the convicted sex offender will not escape justice. Coming to court and listening to his own daughters testify against him, Kent Savage decides to walk out of his trial and disappear.
Kent Savage, he was really at the top of our list of fugitives that we really wanted to capture.
The 48-year-old fugitive faced charges of committing lewd sexual acts and rape of his two daughters and a third girl.
It's just tragic all the way around.
Joe Ruffin represented Savage at trial. Before fleeing, Savage sold his $500,000 home.
I don't condone him running, but I mean, I understand in the situation why I would have.
I'm shocked. He was prepared.
Investigators who spent the last 2 months scouring the country looking for Savage always thought the convicted pedophile may have been hiding out in Utah. Those same investigators were surprised when the now bearded Savage turned up all the way across the country in Georgia.
This was a crapshoot. Nobody knew. Nobody had any idea where he was.
Mina Samara posted Savage's $94,000 bond.
Oh my goodness.
She and her partner are pleased they won't have to pay the forfeiture. Turns out, when officers in Georgia arrested Savage, they also found his wife and kids as well.
Can't believe his wife is with him. The investigating agencies, whether in Georgia or here in Oklahoma, will determine on filing charges against her because obviously she knew.
He wanted to be with his family. The family wanted to be with him. It's pretty obvious.
Finally, Savage is apparently trying to fight his extradition. That means it'll take a warrant by the governor to get him returned here to Oklahoma. It's not just an inconvenience. Here at this intersection, every single visor shade is gone from the lights. Some drivers think that could be a safety hazard because in the sunlight, it's tough to tell if the light is green or red. City leaders don't disagree, but fixing the problem isn't so easy. They're cracked, chipped, some shattered shades barely cling to the lights. Other signals have been stripped of the visors altogether, a situation some say is putting drivers in danger.
The sun's over there and you're looking straight at the light, it's really difficult to see sometimes.
It does affect you and it makes you weary when you're going through these if everybody's going to stop or not.
Because more than 2 months have passed since the massive hailstorm that damaged all the streetlights, some drivers think the city needs to speed up the repair and replacement of the busted shades.
I think it'd be a safer thing where people could see them better.
It's a real challenge for the signal crews to be able to try to do this.
The problem for the city is basic math. In any given year, on average, the city has to replace about 25 broken signal heads and maybe 100 visors. But with the hailstorm alone, the city had to replace 101 signal heads and more than 1,100 visors.
We wouldn't do those kind of repairs in several years of routine maintenance.
Mike DiGiacomo says heavy demand has led to one big holdup.
I've got to order those parts. It's not like I got them on hand. We're just not equipped to handle that issue in as quick a manner as people would like.
At best, it'll be several months before all the broken traffic lights are put back together. Until then, drive safe. Jesse Wells, Oklahoma's News Channel 4 HD. I've been here for 3 days from the very beginning, and From the beginning, you look around, you wonder how will all of this damage and destruction get cleaned up? The answer, of course, is with an army of volunteers from all over the country.
All kinds of stuff, yearbooks. We found a lot of yearbook photos. Looks like yearbooks. This is somebody's baby.
Darcy Jones has spent all day salvaging the belongings of total strangers.
These things are people's lives. It's all they have, maybe.
One recovered photo, taken May 3rd, 1999, holds special meaning for Darcy.
I mean, it looks exactly like what it looks like down here today. My grandparents lost their house on May 3rd, and thought I would never see anything worse than that. And this is.
Darcy, of course, is just one of an army of volunteers raking and cleaning yards.
As long as there's 1 foot in front of the other, you keep going.
I used to live right directly behind here. This is my church. We got chicken pot pie over there, barbecue here.
Former state lawmaker Randy Terrell from Moore says thousands of pounds of chicken and hot dogs are being grilled up at Southgate Church to feed all those volunteers.
It's very humbling to see everybody pull together in a time of need.
Something amazing is happening is neighbors take care of neighbors, and folks are out here, don't know who they're helping, but they're helping somebody.
That's what Oklahoma people do. We know all too well how to do disaster relief. So that's what we do. That truly is the spirit of Oklahoma. In the meantime, 2 notes tonight. We're told that as of 3 o'clock, just a couple of hours ago, families again could start to get into some of these neighborhoods here behind me that were hardest hit out here and more. Also, the folks that are running those food vending sites, they'll be up and running as long as necessary. Of course, this could be weeks on end, the way it looks now. Somewhere between 1,200 and 1,400 victims in Moore were eligible for the assistance at $1,000 a piece. That's over $1 million donated today with absolutely no strings attached.
Everything was like an earthquake. Within a few seconds, my house was gone.
Gina's home and neighborhood, like many others, remains flattened to this day following May 20th's F5 tornado.
It's been tough for me.
Gina is one of hundreds standing and sitting outside this church waiting for $1,000 in assistance.
$1,000 is a lot.
We know what loss feels like.
Cantor Fitzgerald occupied the top floors of the World Trade Center North Tower before its collapse, killing 658 of the company's employees. That tragedy led to the foundation of the Cantor Fitzgerald Relief Fund.
I really want to put money in moms and dads' hands and let them take care of their families the way they see fit and maybe bring a little happiness.
It's not just Moore. Over the years, Cantor Fitzgerald's philanthropy efforts have extended way beyond Oklahoma. They've offered relief to similar families affected by disaster in New Orleans following Hurricane Katrina, as well as the 2010 Haiti earthquake, and most recently following Hurricane Sandy on the Jersey Shore.
This is a credit card, can be used anywhere.
Each storm victim came to this gymnasium to collect their prepaid debit cards, had their homes damaged or destroyed on May 20th, and they all appreciate the generosity.
For us that lost everything, I mean, we're still trying to build back everything.
It's just awesome to see everyone across the USA just acting as a union.
Every September 11th, Cantor Fitzgerald's holds a charity day. 100% of the company's revenues go to the relief fund that helps pay for today's donation and, as you saw, many others. Back to you guys.